Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
Oh no!
Oh my goodness!
Oh no!
Boom! Perfect shot.
And it ended in the way that it should. Sometimes a story ends in the way that the story should end. It always should have ended with Anthony Joshua knocking out Jake Paul. And that's exactly what we got. But I think it's time that people give Paul some credit for what he did, what he has done for boxing.
He's hurt.
It's over. It's over.
Hey, my boxing knowledge is impeccable. 6 rounds.
Oh my God, he got up again.
My 50,000 is safe.
Just to follow up on Jake, he said he broke his jaw in the aftermath. Has he gone to hospital? What's the health update on Jake?
Yeah, we think he broke his jaw. He's fine. We met with Netflix afterwards. He took a shower. He drove himself to the hospital. A broken jaw is very common in sports, particularly in boxing or MMA, and I think the recovery time from the doctors and surgeons we've already talked to is 4 to 6 weeks.
Anthony Joshua didn't just walk into that ring to box Jake Paul. He clocked in like a man working overtime with benefits, a pension plan, and zero interest in chasing influencers.
I tried when I could. It was a bit messy, but from a systematical breakdown, the right hand landed, it found his home, and the referee waved it off after. Did he get counted out or did the ref wave it off?
I believe he got counted out.
So the right hand found his home.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have landed some more body shots, but it weren't for tonight, maybe in the future, but we got the job done in the end anyway.
From the opening bell, Jake was moving like he left his AirPods at home, circling the ring like a track star who heard a growl behind him, while AJ stalked calmly, cutting the ring the way heavyweights are taught. Not rushed, not emotional, just inevitable.
It's an incredible knockout. What do you think?
I think he did what he had to do. He went out there, took his time, chased him down, unloaded, and got the knockout. So it's what we were expecting. I thought it'd be earlier, but he got the job done. So congratulations to Joshua.
What's next for Jake Paul? Should he retire? Should he fight on?
He can do whatever he wants. If he wants to continue.
What about Joshua? You want a piece of Joshua?
Always.
Yeah.
To Jake's credit, he did make Joshua miss early, flicked the jab, and had moments where you could almost hear his fans yelling, "See? See, he belongs." But this wasn't a dance floor, it was a construction site, and AJ brought the hard hat. Every clinch turned into a physics lesson, Joshua leaning on him like, "Carry this real quick."
Were you impressed the fact that Jake lasted so long, or I don't know, what's your take on it?
Not really. I expected that, you know.
You expected him to last?
I mean, I expected Jake to fight the way he fought.
Right.
You know, trying to stay away. You don't know if how long that's gonna last. You know, Joshua has something to say about that. So you don't know, but I'm not shocked. I'm not surprised.
Right. Were you, I don't know, impressed by anything Jake did? Maybe he took a right hand that heavyweights have taken and got
Jake
up.
is tough, man, and that's what I try to tell people when they try to completely discredit him. No, Jake Paul is not the face of boxing, and yes, that's disrespectful to the guys that been doing it from the crib, but you can't just throw the baby out with the bathwater, bro. Like, he's been training and he knows enough in that ring to be able to, you know, protect himself, and he's a tough kid.
Draining energy, stealing breath, making the ring feel smaller with every step. By the middle rounds, Jake wasn't running a game plan anymore. He was running laps, hugging, falling, and trying to buy himself a timeout that doesn't exist in boxing. Even the referee had enough, basically telling them, "I know Netflix paid a lot, but we're not filming a grappling documentary."
Yeah, I knew we were going to beat him, but I didn't expect it to go as many rounds as it did. And I think Jake deserves a huge amount of credit, because I know he ran and held, but he did throw shots at times. But where I think he deserves credit is he took some punishment. And that shot was a similar right hand that flattened Ngannou and put him to sleep. And I know it shattered Jake Paul's jaw and broke his jaw, but he was, I mean, it wasn't okay, but he was on, you know, he was awake. So I've got to give him credit. I think he's a crazy
Then round 6 arrived, AJ finally lined it up, and that right hand landed like it had a passport, sending Jake's jaw on a one-way trip to the South Pole with no return flight booked. Fight over, internet silent, heavyweight lesson delivered. It wasn't flashy domination, it wasn't reckless violence, it was grown man pressure, the kind that reminds you that confidence is cool, movement is nice, but at heavyweight, gravity always wins, and Anthony Joshua is very good friends with gravity.
That what happened what was always going to happen. You know, a lot of people thought he would only last 1 round, 2 rounds, but you know, you got to give Jake credit. You know, he went out there and had a solid game plan and was implementing it at times, was landing shots and was avoiding getting hit with the big shots. You know, but there's a reason we have weight categories in boxing, and I'd say he sticks with, you know, the cruiserweight division where the guys are the same size as him, because that, you know, without having the schooling, the many years, I was able to give away 100 pounds in weight because I've been boxing since I was 10.
And as the sweat dried and the noise settled, we slid straight from the chaos of the ring into the calm but cutting truth session at the mic, where Anthony Joshua sounded like a man who just finished a hard shift and still found notes to improve. I'm listening to AJ break this down, and I love it. No victory lap, no chest beating, just that cold heavyweight honesty like, yeah, I won, but we're not hanging banners for average. He clocked Jake's movement early, chose pressure instead of chasing ghosts, and treated the fight like a long exam, not a pop quiz. When AJ talks about psychological warfare, that's not poetry, that's a warning label. Heavyweights don't just hit your body, they rent space in your head.
Or Jake would have moved around the ring at 100 miles an hour. There's 2 things I would have done. Tried to shut Jake down at 100 miles an hour, or I would have gone on the back foot. So Jake decided to move around the ring, and I decided to put the pressure on. What I could have done better is a lot of things. 100%. In the fight game, you've seen the amazing fighters that have graced us over the last 100 years, and the expectations that we put on ourselves are immense, but I tried my best.
And credit where it's due, he gave Jake Paul his respect, heart, grit, and courage to step in, because plenty talk tough from couches, but never walk that aisle. Then Eddie Hearn jumps in, sounding like the grown-up in the room, half proud, half relieved, basically saying, look, this was always a mountain, but at least the man climbed it instead of tweeting about it. Eddie admitting the fight was one-sided, but still tipping Jake for surviving, adjusting, and finishing upright. That's boxing respect, not charity.
You know, you can't give him anything but credit and respect. There's a lot of negative people out there. There's a lot of people who want to criticise people. They're not doing what Jake Paul's done. He just went in with Anthony Joshua and gave it his best shot. Took a lot of punishment and ended the fight eventually on his feet after the stoppage. So, you know, I think he'll have to see physically how that jaw, I don't know the severity of it. It's a very difficult injury to come back from. But he showed he's got ability, and that's what we said. You know, he's dedicated to the game.
He has got ability. He done well.
I like how AJ still isn't satisfied. That's championship wiring, saying you can't live off algorithm wins or viral moments. You've got to get better or get past. And when he starts talking future plans, coaches guiding him, and cutting distractions, that's a fighter telling you, I'm not done sharpening the blade. So yeah, if you're watching this thinking it was just spectacle, listen closer. What we really saw was belief meeting experience, pressure beating motion, and a heavyweight reminding everyone that growth doesn't stop at the final bell.
What the plan is entering next year?
So, the best promoter in the world has been speaking with Turkey, His Excellency, Riyadh season, and now he's going to relay those messages and speak to my training team, the Right to Fight team. They're going to have conversations. They're going to speak to my manager, and everyone's going to kind of see where I'm at. My training team know my body really well. They know what I've been through over the X amount of weeks I've been with them. So it's up to them to make a decision. They're gonna speak with Eddie, and then hopefully in a week or so, I'll have some news. I'm a strong guy, I wanna push on, but the coaches, it's really up to them. They're the ones that guide me.
And right after AJ and Eddie wrap things up with that calm heavyweight reality check, the camera cuts to Logan Paul sounding like the world.
I'm just so proud of him. That was incredible. In my view, that was a victory on all fronts.
Right.
like minus the actual victory, obviously, of course. But bro, like no one expected him to last 6 rounds with AJ. In my opinion, he won 4 of them. People will argue that he at least won 3. No one expected him to last that long. Rolled his ankle, broke his jaw, still fighting, man. Like that's toughness.
You can laugh at the optimism, you can argue the rounds, but you can't ignore the fact that confidence like that doesn't come from delusion alone. It comes from surviving something most people wouldn't sign up for even in a video game. And whether you love Jake, doubt Jake, or just came for the spectacle, moments like this are why these fights spark debates that don't die with the final bell.
You know, most people wouldn't have the balls ever to step in a boxing ring in their life. He stepped in a boxing ring with one of the baddest men on the planet, who's 40 pounds heavier than him and 6 inches taller. That's insane. He's one of the most skilled fighters on the planet. My brother, as a YouTuber, went 6 rounds with him in a fight with a broken jaw and rolled ankle. I'm so proud of him. That was just unbelievable.
I saw you talking crap to AJ at one point.
I was trying to get his head. I think I pissed him off. I was just saying fuck that shit. I love AJ. But bro,
I saw you going down the fight game.
I was talking so much. But I just pissed him off. Then he broke my brother's jaw. This guy.
Broke his jaw, huh?
Yeah, his jaw.
And DC steps in because now it's not family pride, it's fight reality. I'm listening to Daniel Cormier and thinking, yeah, this is the voice of a guy who's lived in rooms where fairy tales get escorted out by security. DC wasn't rude, he wasn't hateful, he was surgical. He basically said what a lot of people were dancing around. Belief is cute, movement is nice, but gravity always catches up. You could hear it in his voice when he talked about Joshua representing boxing. Like, this wasn't just a fight, this was the sport protecting its own reputation. And when DC jokes about someone betting $20 on Jake like they were buying a lottery ticket.
Some people believe in fairy tales. Whoever believed that Jake Paul was gonna win, that was an absolute fairy tale. I've got a friend in a group message that said, I just put $20 on Jake Paul to win. I was like, bro, you just wasted your money. There was never a world in which Jake Paul was going to beat Anthony Joshua. It was always a matter of how the fight would end. So
that wasn't comedy, that was tough love. He respected Jake's courage, absolutely, but he made it clear this wasn't a Marvel movie where the underdog unlocks a hidden power at level 6. This was a heavyweight patiently downloading data until the battery ran out. DC saw the frustration, the running, the clinching, the survival instincts, and he read it like a manual. When a big man keeps walking you down calmly, he's not lost, he's waiting. Then DC really leans in, and this is where it gets uncomfortable in an honest way, because he starts talking about posture, pressure, and that invisible weight you feel when someone bigger refuses to rush. I loved that breakdown because it's the stuff casual fans miss. Joshua wasn't panicking, he was letting time do the damage.
So the fight starts. Joshua cannot catch up to Jake. You can see very clearly that the game plan was for Paul to kind of run and frustrate Anthony Joshua over the course of this fight. And through the first few rounds, it was working. Hell, in the first round, neither one of them landed a damn punch. And that's the problem with boxing. The problem with boxing is you can get these fights that have all this hype and nothing happens.
DC calling out the wrestling moments, the double leg attempts, the ref looking confused. That was him basically saying, yeah, this happens when worlds collide. And when he says you could feel the moment Joshua realized, oh, your best shot doesn't move me, that's the shift right there. That's when fights stop being competitive and start being inevitable. DC didn't celebrate the finish like a highlight reel addict. He framed it like a necessary ending, not cruel, not excessive, just correct. And here's the balance he struck perfectly. Jake earned respect for stepping in, but the ring still told the truth. No shortcuts, no hacks, no algorithms. Just a heavyweight equation solving itself in real time. You, me, all of us watching. That wasn't hype collapsing. That was reality tapping the mic and saying, still works.
Sometimes a story ends in the way that the story should end. It always should have ended with Anthony Joshua knocking out Jake Paul. And that's exactly what we got. But I think it's time that people give Paul some credit for what he did, what he has done for boxing, and his ability and willingness to stand in there.
So when you stack it all together, this night wasn't about mocking belief or crowning hype. It was about watching belief get stress tested by experience, pressure, and time. Jake showed heart, courage, and the kind of confidence that drags big moments into existence. But AJ showed why heavyweight boxing still runs on structure, patience, and consequences. One man chased a vision, the other enforced reality, and the ring didn't argue with either, it just chose a winner. Now I want to hear from you. Was this heart, hype, or harsh reality doing the loudest talking? Drop your take in the comments, keep it respectful, debate it out like real fans, and yo, don't ever forget to like, share, and subscribe to Boxing Headquarters. See you in the next one.